Hey guys, so today we're gonna go ahead and make pepper chicken, and I decided to go ahead and use the big drumsticks because once again, not a lot of people like those because it's hard to season and it's hard to get the season on the inside. Anyway, these are the simple ingredients you're gonna need. You're gonna need your chicken, and you're also gonna need 3 onions. One is gonna be a red onion and the other two are gonna be regular. And you're also gonna need 1 bell pepper, the color doesn't matter, and 3 habanero peppers because we're making pepper chicken. And it would be hotter if it was for me, however, it's for a party. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. First thing you want to do is season the chicken. Like I did yesterday with the other meat, all you really want to have is those essential seasonings and put about a teaspoon of each inside of what you're going to be seasoning, and that's depending on quantity as well, so season up to taste. Next, you're going to go ahead and fry the chicken, blend the stuff in the blender, and get ready to cook. Someone once told me that you are never really great at something until you can teach it like you're teaching it to a 3rd grader. So I want y'all to keep this in mind when I teach you guys how to cook, because I'm teaching you how to actually have the skills to cook and come up with things in your own head and like, oh my god, I wonder how that would taste, and you actually make it come to life. And that won't happen if I have you following a recipe. So once again, make your food how you like it. Make the chicken hot if you want it hot. Make it cold if you want it cold. Use a different kind of chicken if you want. Anyway, my oil is on about 375 and I got that frying for about, let's just say till it gets brown. So you want to keep your eye on it as well. That's one of the things you're going to have to do in cooking. And once that's done, you want to get started on your sauce. So once your oil is hot, you want to go ahead and add your blended items. Mix that up, let it fry. Once it starts frying, you want to go ahead and season it. So the seasons I'm about to put in here is the same quantity and amount of seasoning you want to put on the chicken as well, because you want both to have their own flavor, but then come together in the end and make a different flavor that tastes even better than what they taste like separately. It's kind of like a union type of thing. Better together, I guess. So first we're going to start with crushed red peppers, which is stupid because there's already pepper in there, but crushed red peppers is a different kind of pepper and they also have their own flavor. So next we're going to add 2 cubes. That was about 1 teaspoon of crushed red peppers. Next, we're gonna add parsley. By the way, the stove is a little above medium. The high on my stove is 9, so I got it cooking at 7.5. Next, we're gonna add lemon pepper seasoning. You don't want to over season this simply because if you do, once the chicken gets cold, even if you can't taste it, you will taste it then. And then here we have a little bit of garlic salt. The lemon pepper seasoning, we had about maybe a teaspoonful. The garlic salt, half a teaspoon, because we're going to add more salty items and you don't want it to be salty. This is the chicken seasoning or flavoring because it doesn't have salt. That's about a teaspoon, I mean. And last but not least, we have our chicken seasoning, which is salt based. So because we put 2 cubes, we're only going to put about half a tablespoon of the chicken seasoning in there. Now, mind you, you can always go ahead and add more seasoning later. It's better to add more seasoning than to add water just to dilute the amount of salt you put in there. Lastly, we have our beef broth, which is also salt-based, so we'll add about half a tablespoon. A teaspoon, I meant. And lastly, stir. You want to go ahead and cover that for about maybe 4 minutes and let it cook on its own or fry. And next you'll add some wine and let it cook down. Once it cooks down, you'll be ready to bake it. So once your sauce starts to cook, you want to go ahead and just give it a nice little light stir. Taste it. If the season is up to taste for you, you want to go ahead and add about 1/4 of a cup of wine. And just let that redness catch on. Red wine, that is. The redness catch on and the flavor is going to mix up in there and make it real nice for you. So you want to cover it and let it cook for another 4 to 5 minutes or so, and then give it a taste. So with your chicken, you don't want to cook it all the way. You just want it to be kind of brown, like that. And you're going to go ahead and put that away. Fry the rest of your chicken and get ready to bake. By the way, now is the time you want to preheat your oven to about, let's say, 375 or 400, depending on how much time. About 4 to 5 minutes later, your food should look something like this. You just want to make sure you correct the taste. If the taste is off point for you, add or reduce seasoning however you please, and get ready to bake your goods. Now, a way to reduce the seasoning would be to add a little bit of water and herbs. That way it balances the salt base with the flavor, and you should be fine. So let's get ready to cook. At this point in your adventure, your onion sauce should look something like this. You just want to half cook it, and also you can make this on the stove. The only difference is the chicken will break apart. You will have to put the raw blended stuff on the chicken in the pot so it can cook with it. So here you want to turn off your stove. Make sure that taste is on point, except the hint of bitter which comes from the wine. It will disappear, don't worry. And you should be ready to bake. All right, so lastly, you just want to grab that and just smear it all over the chicken. All over. Don't worry about the bottom, some of it is gonna fall down there. And if you want it a lot saucier, you can add more water and just make sure your season's balanced. But I like mine like this because this is also gonna make its own little juice when it's in the oven. Once that is done, you put it in your oven at 375 or 400 for about 20 minutes or so. And you should be ready to eat. The sauce just gotta get kind of glazed onto the chicken.